Good morning. Well, is it a good morning? No, it's not. I'm furious. I'm ropeable. But good morning, smooth criminals. Marge, Francesca, Scout, great to have you all here. Thank you. And also welcome to anyone who joins in. Brace yourselves. I'm about to have a rant. I've got an appointment in just under an hour that I'm heading off to. This is not going to be my only live on this topic, but it's a good opportunity for some drive therapy and just to say a few things. I do want to kick off this live, though, with a message to the courts of the United States of America. You guys seriously need to close your proceedings to members of the public. After what happened today, you really need to think about closed proceedings. There's reasons other countries do it. And this sort of shit that happened today, oops, I wasn't going to swear, but I'm angry. Hey, Ruth. Love. Scout, Sonny's pouting. I've left her at home. For those of you that don't know why I'm fuming, although there's a pretty detailed rant in my description about this live, how ironic that I do a video in the last 24 hours about how YouTubers are interfering with the course of justice. Little did I know as I made that video that in less than 24 hours, YouTubers would single-handedly be responsible for a courtroom closing proceedings for the day, adjourning them. And not just the proceeding for Jared Leisek, which is why all these flipping YouTubers were tuning in, but everyone else in the list that day that had their matters before the court. Thanks for the caps reminder, Scout, you're the best. I don't know where to rant because there's so many things I'm pissed off about. But I do want to say, to start off, I never in my wildest dreams thought that this would happen. Like, I've been expecting bad shit to happen because of these irresponsible assholes who are more interested in their subscribers and their super chats than they are about the course of justice they claim to be so interested in and so passionate about. Now, I've only had an opportunity to listen to GD Ron and his explanation of what happened with him being played essentially in the court. Pass on the information blow by blow, they're your words as it happened, to your subscribers. Court journalists, like journalists that are allowed to attend court hearings, are not allowed to do that. They sit in a courtroom and take notes, and they do their reports after the hearing. Who the fuck do all of these people think they are? You're YouTubers, for God's sake, and you're showing absolutely no respect for an institution that delivers justice. Courts are not, it's not a TV show. It's a serious business where people's lives are at stake. You have just had a matter adjourned, not just one, many, has waited 30 years for justice, now has to wait even longer. Don't you dare ever say you are doing this for the victims or justice for victims. You're fucking with the course of justice. I am so angry. Can you tell? This is mad. I'm swearing like it. This will probably get shut down by YouTube. If I ran like this in the new year with the new T's and C's, I'm screwed. So fuck it. Let's make the most of it. Absolutely entitled. And I don't care how many people want to defend GD Ron. And GD Ron, you and I started out our channels at the same time. You had ethics. You were a cop, for God's sake. Don't you dare say that it's disgusting that other YouTubers were streaming it when you were going to listen to it and give your subscribers a blow-by-blow description of what was going on. You signed something that said you would not show any of the proceedings on another platform, and you did. Sure, they may not have been dealing with a matter at the time, but you still showed it briefly on your channel. And lastly, with you, Judy Ron, if you seriously feel bad about this, and you've got all these people all over YouTube defending you, why the fuck is your video monetized when this happened? My Smooth Criminal podcast channel is not on YouTube Premium. I have to sit through ads, and you've got ads in the middle of that live. You really sorry? You sure? Still monetized it, didn't you? Oh my God, I'm so angry. How dare you all make a mockery? And now I'm talking about all of them generally. Mockery of this profession. It's a workplace. It is not a playground. It's not a TV show. And you guys are far. Lawyers study their asses off to get that qualification. Full of professionals and academics and people who've worked, and you've treated it with absolute contempt. I keep trying to think of a similar analogy, and the only one I can think of is, do you guys think it's okay to walk into an operating theatre when someone's having heart surgery and go live and stream it and provide your fucking amateur commentary on what's going on? I'm so angry. This is probably the angriest I've ever been on YouTube. Good thing I'm going to an appointment with my psychologist. How ironic. You're shitting on the legal profession from a great height. But by doing that, you're also shitting on victims. If I hear one of you assholes who led to this matter being, not just Jared Leisek, but everyone in court today, that matter's been adjourned. If I ever hear any of you saying justice for victims again, I swear to God, I'm going to punch your faces through my screen. You don't give a fuck about the victims. Who knows what else was going to be heard in court that day? Who's going to pay for the lawyers that were there? You stopped a day worth of proceedings. Do you know how much it costs to have a barrister representing you in court, what their hourly rate is? There are barristers that can charge $100,000 an hour. But even $1,000 an hour, which is probably the cheapest barrister you'll find these days, plus there's probably an instructing solicitor sitting with them as well who charges $600 an hour. Do you know who has to pay for that shit? The clients. The victims you think you're protecting should be covered by the Crown, and hopefully that's what will happen. But the defendants are in there, and they're all going to have to pay their lawyers for that adjournment. I hope to God somebody sues them. I don't even know how many matters would have been on that list today in that courtroom in Utah, but it would have been heaps. Arraignments are very quick. You could do 10 in an hour. Multiply that by 7 hours of court hearing time, and all of those defendants are potentially looking at spending $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 because of YouTubers to their lawyers. Because their lawyers aren't going to say, oh, don't worry about it. I mean, some might, I would. But I've still got mouths to feed, bills to pay. I'm live and I'm ranting to get this out of my system. I'm sorry if the audio is appalling. It probably is. Jared Leisek's cousin has waited 30 years for this moment. And you've come along, you fucking asshole YouTubers who pretend to be true crime. You are not true crime. You are messing with the course of justice. You're vandals. Was it worth it for the super chats you got? And don't you dare say you're sorry it happened and then put advertisements in your live when it happened. If you were genuinely sorry, you'd put out an official apology and you wouldn't fucking monetize that one either. God, I'm angry. This is not like me at all. But this is my profession. Hi, Green Eyes. Hey, Sumi. Irresponsible, reckless assholes. This is my job. This profession requires us to take an oath, which is so strict that we're not even allowed to criticise our fellow colleagues, other lawyers, magistrates, judges. We're to hold our colleagues in high regard. You are not allowed to put other lawyers down. I mean, if a lawyer gets struck off, they're free game. We're bound by incredibly strict rules. So are the media who are allowed to attend court hearings. They're not allowed to sit in there and record it and have it streaming live or give their viewers a blow-by-blow of what's going on. Why the fuck do you YouTubers think you are allowed to do that? It's a very serious profession. Lives are at stake. And ultimately, we want justice for victims. God knows what was being heard in that courtroom today, in addition to Jared Leisek's matter. But there'd be a lot of people going home after that hearing absolutely devastated. And like I said, many of them are going to have to find potentially thousands of dollars to cover their lawyers attending that hearing, and the pin got pulled because of YouTubers. I hope someone sues them and sets a precedent. I seriously do. But more importantly, I hope that the courts in the US seriously start considering having closed proceedings and having a very strict regime on who can be approved to actually sit in that courtroom. Like, I'm fascinated by the fact that so much information is put out in the States about cases. I'm fascinated that trials are live streamed. But I don't think you guys can keep doing that. And the way all of these YouTubers were laughing about it all too. Oh my God, it's live in the court. We can hear Judy Ron. It's a workplace. It's a very serious workplace. Oh, Marge, I know. And that's one of the things I was thinking about. Like, people going into a courtroom, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. You've got all of these incredibly eloquent academic people citing case law. It sounds like a foreign language. Your liberty is at stake, or you're a victim facing... I mean, the victims in Jared's wouldn't have been there today, possibly might have been in the courtroom. You can go in for an arraignment. I don't think they would have been in there, but they've now been told that the matter's been adjourned. And courtroom calendars and lists are absolutely chock-a-block. Like, it could be months before it gets listed again. Hopefully not. Unfortunately, high-profile cases do get bumped up the list a lot. I mean, I've got friends who are barristers that are getting trials listed in August next year. That's the earliest they can get a trial listed. But yeah, do you go into an operating theatre and stream live and give your opinion on what's going on blow by blow? It just it astounds me. And it astounds me that they constantly say, we do this for the victims. There are no victims of you and your bullshit behaviour. Think about that. You've just created a heap of new victims. Well done. And I know there are other channels that were streaming. I know that another channel hearing Judy Ron was live, jumped in and plugged that channel as well and had a good old chuckle. Who the fuck do you think you are? Have any of you even achieved anything in your life other than being an asshole? Just because you've got a microphone and you can go live on YouTube, that means nothing. Anyone can do that. I've done it. It's pretty fucking easy. You've totally disrespected every single person in that courtroom, but also the legal profession generally. You've disrespected alleged victims of incredibly serious crimes who finally might feel like justice is going to be served, and now you've postponed that. You've prolonged it. If there were 5 or more, Renee B, oh my God. Don't get me wrong though, Judy Ron wasn't much better just because he wasn't streaming. They had to sign something that said they wouldn't show anything on another platform, and he did. I double checked. I was listening to him getting ready for this appointment, and I double checked, and he did. It was a very brief flash on the screen, but it still broke the law in Utah. Are these people going to be sued? I hope so. And I hope every single person that was listed today with a hearing who had to pay a shitload of money for their lawyers to be there, I hope they sue as well. We need a precedent. I do too, Renee. I feel incredibly sad for that victim, but I feel sorry for all the other victims of God knows what else was being heard in the court that day. Like if that was an arraignment day, then literally you can do 10 arraignments in an hour. And if the court sits for 7 hours, that's 70 victims, potentially more, that are probably feeling incredibly heartbroken right now. If any of those creators ever say they're doing it for the victims, please call them out. They have just done the worst thing. I mean, this is unprecedented. I've heard of witnesses being kicked off juries because they've been caught out accessing social media. I've never heard of a courtroom closing the proceedings for the day because YouTubers were streaming shit live. They're definitely all open to being charged, and I hope they are. When I made my video yesterday, hey Miss Kay, when I made my video yesterday, and for many months now, my overriding thought has been, what's it going to take for this to stop? Like, is it going to take a YouTuber to have someone they love and care about being murdered, and then other YouTubers doing what they're currently doing to other innocent victims and their families and friends for them to think that what they're doing is bullshit? I never in my wildest dreams thought something like this could happen. It might be a positive thing. This could put an end to some of the bullshit that goes on. Not all of it. But I really think courts in the US need to seriously consider how they're running their hearings and so on. They should not be allowing anybody like a YouTuber to sit in those hearings, whether it's online or in the courtroom. Yeah, I'm disgusted and I feel sick too, Renee. Thankfully, there's a really lovely bakery near where I'm going, and after it I'm going to get myself a Nutella donut. I will do a live about this later as well, where we can have a chat and I'll open up my panel. And hopefully I won't be this angry. I mean, I don't think I'm angry. I mean, I was ranting like an angry demon before, but I'm infuriated for sure. It's not just because I'm a lawyer and they're completely besmirching the profession and the judicial system. Well, this is good luck. Oh, no, just missed it. When you drive directly under a plane, apparently it's good luck. Unless the plane lands on your car, then it's not good luck. Yeah, Francesca, hopefully you'll be around and you can join in too and even jump up on panel now that you have experience. Like, to treat the profession with such contempt, and to me it is contempt of court, what they've done. And that carries a jail term, I believe. I don't know what the laws in Utah are, but I'm pretty sure I briefly heard someone reading out the the permission thing that they had to sign to be able to sit in that online hearing. I'm pretty sure it mentioned punishment, including imprisonment and a fine. I need wine too, and it's only 10:30 a.m. I should say to my psych, do you have any rum in your drawer? Because I need some. I won't be talking to my psych about this. I'm getting this out of my system before I see my lovely psych through a door. But yeah, slaps and contempt of court charges on these pricks. If that's what it takes, like, set a precedent and start looking at closing court hearings. Because even media professionals who report from the courts, they sit there and listen and take notes, and then they go back to the TV station or their office and they write their story and out it goes. They're not allowed to friggin', I'm just going to listen to the audio and give you a blow-by-blow as it happens. What the fuck? And then to actually stream it. Debriefing. Oh, I'm debriefing. And I'm thinking about that donut too. I might even get two. They do a great custard donut as well. Fuck it, I might buy one of everything in that bakery. I don't know. It could be a riot. I might buy every single product they've got. If I had the money to, I would. I'll have everything, please. What, everything? Yeah, absolutely everything. Except soda, like Coke and Pepsi and shit like that. I'll take all the flavoured, like the iced coffees though. Load me up. And this is part of the problem with YouTube, is that you have people, not everyone, because there are professionals, people that have professional careers on YouTube who've acted unbelievably irresponsibly today. But so many of them have probably never really had to work hard for the job that they do, if they even do a job. I'm proud that I was able to get a law degree. I'm proud that I worked my ass off and put myself through uni working 50 hours a week in a pub to do that. But my achievements are minimal compared to the judges and what they have to achieve to even be appointed a judge. You needed this, Renee. You came to the right place, kiddo. Yeah, anyone could get up on my panel, Miss K, absolutely. I need to do some research, though. I need to find out exactly what the penalty is, not just for contempt of court, but also the penalty that was on that form they had to fill out to be able to sit in online and listen in. And already the subscribers of these channels, oh, you didn't know, we know you're hopeless with your technology, Judy Ron. Accidents happen. When it happened, he was laughing, going, oh my God, imagine if that had happened while court was in session. It's bad enough that it happened when it was in recess. What all of those people should have done is sit there quietly, muted, watch the proceedings, and then go live and tell their subscribers about it. That's exactly what they should have done. But now all these people are defending him, and apparently he feels terrible about it, but he's got ads in that live. And the irony isn't lost on me that the bit they heard in court was him talking about subscribers and likes and members and all of that sort of stuff, super chats. Yeah, because the most important thing was to be watching what was happening in court, right? Weren't talking about that much. And you've kept that video monetized. You've actually physically, I mean, I don't know, my channel, I have to select which things I monetize, which things I don't. Not on this channel, on my other channel. You have to manually turn monetization on. And he's got ads running in that live. Yeah, he feels very bad about it. Think about how many super chats and memberships and stuff he's going to get too because of this happening. It's an absolute wet dream for these YouTubers. But if they get slapped with court proceedings, let's see how quickly that wet dream dissipates. It's a terrible look, Miss K. Hey, Susie. Quick recap. This is just me ranting because I'm going to a psychologist appointment. I want to get this anger out. Today, I don't know if you're aware of Jared Leisek, the owner of AWP, who's facing 2 child rape charges. Anyway, his matter was before the courts for the first time this morning in Utah, and YouTubers applied online to participate, like to watch, like on a Zoom kind of thing, but it's got a different name. I can't remember what it's called. Something with X in it. And some of them actually live streamed it, even though they signed a disclaimer saying they wouldn't. Judy Ron was fucking around with his earpiece and Bluetooth switched off, and the next thing you know, everyone can hear him in court. It was during a recess, but talking about how many likes he's got and his subscribers and all that sort of stuff. And then after the recess, the judge came back into the court and adjourned the proceedings for the entire day, not just for Jared Leisek, but everybody else who was on the list that day, because she had been informed that YouTubers were streaming the court, even though they signed a document to say they wouldn't. So essentially it's, contempt of court for starters. But I'm furious because I am sick and tired of these YouTubers who, I don't know, think they are better reporters than professional media reporters, who think it's completely okay to essentially enter a workspace, and we're talking about the halls of justice, for fuck's sake. Pretty serious workplace. And take the piss out of it, disrespect it, even though every lawyer, judge, magistrate, prosecutor is held to a very high standard. Doesn't apply to YouTubers. And all of these people that had their matters listed will now be facing fuck knows how many thousands of dollars in fees for possibly for their solicitors and barristers to be there. God knows how many people might have even travelled distances to be there to offer support to their family members. And these horrific YouTubers who continue to say that it's all about justice for the victims, they've now had these matters put off. And if we talk about Jared Leisek in particular, his cousin has waited 30 years for justice. Now, not that anything today would have made a difference. He might have potentially entered the not guilty plea he's intending to enter, but it's one step in the proceedings that has to happen. So his matter is now going to have to be relisted along with everybody else that had a matter listed today. And it may not be till the new year now. We're so close to Christmas. And yeah, the emotional costs are horrific. Horrific, because the course of justice runs very slowly. But when you get into the courts, even though that runs slowly too, at least there's movement towards you potentially getting justice. There's movement towards criminals being convicted and punished. And this is just prolonging it. And I'm just so upset by it all. I'm getting actually teary now. And to show absolutely, you think you're true crime and you show such disrespect towards the courts and the judicial system. I'm just so upset by it. And I'll chat a little bit when I get to where I'm going, but I'll also have to end the live and just take a bit of a deep breath, because I've got other things to talk to my psychologist about. She doesn't need me going in there going, I'm furious about stuff that happened on YouTube. She'll be like, huh? What? This is a first? YouTube what? It's not that right. And that's like the video that I did yesterday. I just can't believe the timing of it. It's not that right. And they think it is. And the fact that so many of them were laughing as this was happening, like not one of them was like, oh my God, this is incredibly serious. They're all having a good old chuckle. And then one YouTuber cashed in on the opportunity to unmute and plug his channel as well into the courtroom. Are you fucking kidding me? You are making a mockery out of a system that you allegedly are so into, that you all claim to be into true crime. This is an interesting park. Anyone a children's plaything? Because what's it, a dollhouse? I was like, what the fuck is that? It is getting deplorable, but it's not actually true crime. I think we also need to remember this. These channels are not true crime at all. And I've been talking about the murder of the true crime genre, because true crime is about facts and evidence and discussing, even theorizing and speculating with the facts that you have, the things that you're aware of. That's how the genre functioned for a very long time. But it also used to be a very niche genre. I've talked about how, you used to be at a true scammers. Perfect. They are glory hunters. True scammers. I love that. And I've talked about how, I'd go to a dinner party and I'd overhear someone talking about a case they were following, and I'd be like, oh my God, my tribe is here. And I'd go over and sit with them and we'd chat about it, because it wasn't something that everyone was into. But with, social media, podcasts, YouTube, you name it, so many people now think they're true crime, and they're not. They're nothing to do with true crime at all. And we used to, go and sit on a website where the facts were presented and speculate and have a really good discussion about it. But it was often about cases that had already been finished. And if there was a case, thank you, Francesca. Yeah, they're tragedy pimps too. Glory hunters, gore crows is another term that Cement Shoes taught me. True scammers. Hey, you don't know me. Exactly, Marge. They're like these amateur sleuths, and I've also said this on my channel, and they're not very good at it. Me too, Francesca. The subs are just as bad, which I definitely didn't leave them out of the video that I did. I don't know what but it sounds very positive. So, say I'm really happy to read the comments for you as well. Send out positive vibes that she continues or your friend continues to improve. Thanks for being here, Renee B. Come back again and again and again. I'm not quite sure what time my live will be. I could potentially put off some things I was going to do today to essentially go home and go live, like 1 o'clock Australia time, because I'd like us to all be, what time are you going live? I'd like us to all be sort of still fresh to be able to talk about this and look at some of the content that's been putting out about what happened, like some of the people that think the way we did. We love having you here, Renee B, and you're going to love this community. You don't know me at all. It's getting late for you guys. Right. Don't worry, I'll be going live about it more than once. I'm pretty sure. Being in Australia, my time zone is problematic. Like when I can go live, nearly everyone's asleep. But yeah, do come back, Renee. You'll love it. We were a really good group of people. Hey, also, just one comment, just to give you a little chuckle before I end this live. I'm not bagging this person. I hope they continue to come back and watch things that I do. But it took me the better half, most of yesterday, to do that little 7.5 minute video I did about the tragedy pimps that you can see on this channel. There's two versions. The second version is better edited. Like I sorted out the music, and I also managed to put that it's my video at the end, because I was getting a lot of people asking me if I made it, and I'm like, yeah. I'm not very good at self-promotion. But it took a long time, like hours, and I thought that it was a really important message. I still do. And I was really proud of it. But somebody put a comment under there with a timestamp correcting how I'd spelt neighbour. They put the timestamp and then just put in inverted commas NEIGHBOR. And I responded and went, not for me. I'm in Australia. We have a U. But thanks for your comment. Was that the only takeaway you got from that work I put into that video? I'm going to take a deep breath and exhale. Yeah, I'll go down that little slidey slide. Joe Wagner got convicted. I don't even know who that is. There you go. But there's a heap of cases none of us know about. Hundreds and thousands, really. Because if they aren't sexy for YouTube, I mean, I do my own true crime reading and stuff off YouTube as well. But yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. 3 donuts? Okay. Breathe. I will. I've got 10 minutes. 13 minutes. I'll hang out with you for 3 more of those 13 minutes. But yeah, the takeaway from this hopefully is I think the courts in the United States of America really need to consider closing them to the public. And if there are members of the public that have a reason to be there, they know the defendant, their family, friends are there for support of the defendant or the victims, and there's a strict process for them to be allowed to attend. The Pike County Massacre. I'll look into it, Renee B. I do not know that one, but I'm glad to hear he was convicted. Thank you. I feel very surrounded by love. Oh, they do beautiful savoury scones, Francesca. I might grab some of them too. I didn't hear the apology, but I heard the live where it happened. But there are people saying he didn't mean to do it. He's really sorry. Well, how about you take the ads off the video for starters? And you still flashed the screen up with the courtroom visible, which you signed a document that said you wouldn't do that. So even if the whole going live and being broadcast and everyone being able to hear you was an accident, you still did what you were asked not to. This isn't me declaring war on Judy Ron, but I'm pretty pissed off. I thought his ethics would have. Yeah, the video's still up. Well, I was listening to it an hour ago. Thank you, Susie. Do spread the word. Facts matter around here, and we look out for each other. And yeah, I'm just furious. I'm furious for so many reasons. I'm disappointed. I'm upset. The entire legal profession has been treated like it's a fucking joke. You really couldn't find a more serious workplace than a courtroom. And the people who work there, whether they're the court reporters, the clerks, in Australia we call them tipstaffs, the associates, the judges' associates, the judges, the lawyers, the prosecutors, they've worked their ass off to be able to work in that room. You've shat on them from a great height. But the worst thing you've done, the most disgusting thing you've done, is what you've done to the victims who are hoping that justice is going to be served, and you've prolonged that happening. And for what? Views, super chats, super stickers? Fuck me dead. I'm disgusted. And like I said yesterday, I was like, what's it going to take for this to stop? I would never in my wildest dreams have imagined what happened today on YouTube would have ever happened. I mean, it's making Bullhorn Betty and that crew look like harmless. Thanks so much for dropping in, Marge. And yeah, I've been eating lots of cake and donuts and everything else. Yeah, so many people. And the cost of it all financially is horrific, but emotionally, you can't put a price on that. It seriously was the worst day on YouTube in the time I've been on YouTube. But thank you, Smooth Criminals, for hanging out with me. Take care of yourselves, and remember, in the meantime, till I see you again, don't get hit by, don't get struck by, and Smooth Criminal. Or any of the fuckwits on YouTube who are not true crime, they're true scammers. Never forget that. Take care, everyone.